sometimes I don't feel real. And I'm not trying to. How do I explain that? Um, I think my sense of self is very distorted. Actually, not. I think I'm very well aware that my sense of self is very distorted due to the fact that my upbringing didn't allow me to be the rawest and realest version of myself. Because the rawest, realest version of myself is kind of aggressive. For what reason? I don't fucking know. I got all this energy in the way. I let. Whoopsie. You're not supposed to be hitting things. You're not supposed to be banging your head. You're not supposed to be. I have this energy and I dispense in the ways I can, which is why a lot of the jobs that I did and do happen to be those that involve a lot of movement because I have a lot of energy. And the main reason why I also do consume the things I do consume is because I have a lot of energy. It seems like I'm being repetitive because I have a lot of energy, and the only way you guys are going to remember is because I have a lot of energy, and how the hell are you guys going to forget if I keep reminding you I have a lot of energy? So back to the point. I feel like a lot of my anger outbursts, because they'll say that you're angry when you hit things or when you do things in assertive action, which is normally accompanied by anger. I don't need to be angry to want to beat the shit out of people. I just got that I want to beat the shit out of people type of feeling sometimes, or they got a very punchable face, or they got a very chokeable throat, or they got a very hittable body, and it's just like I do realize in the way that society, or at least the society wants to groom itself to be, is we are prim and we are proper when our lights are on, but when the lights are off and they turn back on, who put this coke in my nose, and who the fuck spiked my drink with a roofie, and why the fuck is there a fucking condom sticking out my ass? What the hell happened to me? The fucking lights turned off and then turned back on. What the fuck? I'm very well aware of the things that people won't tell me, and it's just like, wait a second. I know I'm not supposed to point this out. But like, you see what the fuck I'm seeing? So just don't. It's very hard to realize, or at least for me personally, when you're stepping in somebody else's karma of sorts, or when you are enabling somebody to be themselves essentially. Like if you are being lazy and you know that if you use your wordings well enough you can convince others to do things for you, which then allows you to continue doing your laziness, or I guess in other, because we could all do the exact same thing, but it all depends on how you paint the picture on what it looks like. Because for somebody to be well versed in communication, to be able to delegate the information, not delegate the information, but being able to delegate the jobs to other people, seems like a good leader. But at the same time, if a parent just sits on the fucking couch and tells other kids to do shit and they don't do absolutely anything, that's just sheer laziness now, isn't that? But delegating and telling other people to do in a boss position and delegating and telling people what to do in a home life situation is all dependent on if you're actually putting any work or if you're just shouting out orders, which is the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss will tell you what to do and a leader will show you what to do. And most people get them confused because, like, what? They're interchangeable, like a psychopath and a sociopath. A psychopath is born that way. A sociopath is turned into that way by their environment. A psychopath literally has a brain abnormality. And the difference between knowing things and thinking you know things is by doing your research, ladies and gentlemen, and those I don't know the preferred pronouns to. Because I don't just think I know things, I have actually done research on things. But because I don't have a PhD or any type of degree on any of the things that I know, then what's the information worth? I don't know. As things are very flexible in life, what I am currently saying could be true and become a lie as time and more research does develop, because what do we really know? And for the fact that I'm not part of the privileged 1% or part of the privileged wealthy group that hoards and gatekeeps a lot of information. The information I do know could be misinformation that was spread by those that can create information to misinform others because of 2 weeks now. Is she talking about the fucking... Oh. Conversation we had earlier when I was in Michigan. I definitely derailed my thoughts. Definitely derailed the thoughts I was thinking. Definitely forgot where I was going. Typically just driving and doing until I can't. Typically driving and do until they go, ooh, ooh, what the fuck you doing? Why the hell are you doing that? Because you can't do that. Remember, so long as you aren't raping, molesting, voicing your negative thoughts and opinions on others. What have you done? Because the world will pick at you and prod at you and change you. Even though you're not a rapist, even though you're not a molester, even though just about everybody feels comfortable in your energy, they don't have a problem with you, they have a problem with themselves. And because you have no problem with you, they want to make sure you have issues too, because, well, I can't be the only one drowning in this fucking ocean of madness. We're all stuck in the ocean. But not all of us will agree that some of us are on boats, some of us are on yachts. And I've talked to a boat person. There's no such thing as a yacht. It's just a fucking big boat. You know, kind of like the whole entire difference between assassination and murder. Political difference. It's just fancy wording so people pay more or feel special because of a fancy wording. Either way, we're all stuck in the ocean. Some of us are on boats, some of us are on yachts, some of us are on super yachts. I know what the fuck I said earlier. It's just for those. Either way. Some of us are just fucking treading water. And some of us are at the bottom of the ocean. We're sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Some of us are willing to respect that. And some of us are just like, why don't you ask mommy? Why don't you ask daddy? Why don't you ask your rich uncle? Why don't you ask your rich friend? Why don't you think outside? My problem is thinking inside. Y'all say, where's your box? And I'm like, where's your world? Where's your universe? How do you dictate your reality? If I was a god, I'd probably be controlling. Just because it's like, nope, no raping. Nope, no unnecessary violence. Yes, you guys can have sanctioned fights. But nope, no murdering. Unless somebody disconnected from my other laws and rules, like the raping and the molesting and the abusing. Like, I don't know. If I had power of sorts, it'd probably be maddening. At least I'd be honest about it. I'd let you know about it. At least you would know what you can do and what you can't do. And here, I know what you can do. But first, let's see how deep your pockets are. Because if your pockets aren't as deep as the ocean, you can't even look. It's weird how things work. Because in reality, you can do whatever you want to within your own reasonings, within your own morality, within your own abilities. There are consequences to every person's actions. But are the consequences sufficient for the actions that have been done? We are told actions will be implemented. But will we ever see? To believe and not to see can kind of seem crazy. But to see and still not to believe is also seemed to be crazy. So regardless of what happens after you do what you do, sometimes I just hope to never have to deal with it again. And sometimes, well, they do it until the day they die. Some people never get locked up. Some of the best criminals go to their graves unknown. Some of the worst criminals, well, you already know. I just know I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. But no, if I get aggressive, I've got a good reason to. I've been telling myself, no. Oh, well, God and the devil have been listening to me because they gave me you. Now I get to show the world how monstrous I've always wanted to be. Fuck it. Put me in the ring, ref! I ain't even talking about soccer. There's a reason why I look like this. When help isn't coming, you gotta build your help. They don't touch me like they used to. They still keep putting the fucking hands on me. It's typically the elderly and the older generation that don't get it. Hands and feet. Hands and feet. Could you please? And I'm gonna see me get angry and aggressive. but I just might leave.